Good morning. It's Monday morning and I just started reading Kokomo and I'm crying. I am crying. This book on the back says, this is from Mina's point of view. Her name's Jasmina. She lives in London and she gets a call from her best mate that says, from Australia, that says her mother has just left the house for the first time in 12 years. So she flies back home and then I guess it unfolds. It opened with her talking about a perfect penis, Jack's perfect penis. And I was like, oh, this is not going to work for me. That was the first page. It was just a little too, I don't know, I don't want to sound like a prude in these situations, but it was a shock. It was a real shock to read that on the first page. But now I'm there, I'm page 52. And the reason that her mother stopped leaving the house was because her father died. And the way that it is written from Mina's point of view, watching her mother just retreat and how she had to go to the funeral home and then getting her mother ready to go to the service. It's so moving. It's so incredibly moving. I mean, my greatest fear in life is that my husband dies young. I don't know why. I just fear it. And reading it is really touching a heap of, nerves and heartstrings and all of that. But I think that the way that Victoria Hannan has written this has just evoked so much emotion in me. And I really wanted to record this moment because I went from being like, do we need the penis story, to so incredibly moved. Like I could curl up in a ball and just howl right now. I feel so much for these people. So what follows is this kind of mystery that unfolds because she's got to try and work out what's going on with her mum. And we've gone back to, the days after her dad died, and there's already a mysterious bunch of flowers arrived from a mysterious man. So it's going to be a bit of a ride, I think, but also very emotionally driven. And I'm just so feeling for this woman who lost her husband and has shut herself away from the world. Great writing. Really, really emotion evoking, scene evoking. Like I'm there, I'm part of all of this, and I'm 52 pages in. So I just wanted to record that. This is part of my reading through the 2020 Australian new releases that have come out that I want to try and make sure that I am aware of and honour and all of those sorts of things. And this book has been on my list for a long time. This is one of the ones I knew I had to read. So I think I'm working out why. Right. I'll just keep updating you as I read through it because this is kind of the way that I have to review books and tell you about books, because if I get to the end and then try and remember how I felt, the feelings, they're not as real, they're not as true for me. I'm kind of, I get, if this book takes a turn for the worst, then at least we have this moment of this realness and rawness, and that's just the way I like to do it. So I hope that works for you guys as well. I hope I do this, and I hope I do the books justice in this way. Anyway, it's not a good way to start the week, being like completely, like I can feel it in my chest. Ugh, such sadness. Right, I'll update you, hopefully a bit more together next time. Hi, I'm exhausted from shopping. We had to get a whole pile of new clothes because apparently my children are growing every 2 weeks. I want to talk to you about Kokomo because I've read some more of it, but I haven't been able to update you because I've either been here in the laundry or on my computer today. So that's where we're at. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm just over halfway through now, and it's great. What I'm really loving is the ease with which the author is moving us between time frames. So the present time frame, we're in Melbourne. Her mum's just left the house. She's back from London to work out what's going on.
Yes, this is the swimming gear from last Wednesday that I need to wash before tomorrow swimming. And then within, it's not one of those sort of traditional ways of switching between time frames where you kind of move chapter to chapter in between them. It's very much within the flow of the book, which I'm really appreciating. I normally, in these things, when we're talking about, you know, what happened before and then what's happening in present day, I get a bit frustrated because sometimes I just want to stick with the one story. But this author has done an amazing job to make it flow really well so that when I'm in the present day, I can flip back to the past really easily. And whether that's because there's, you know, questions I want answered, or I don't know, whether she's just done a really good job of setting it all up, I don't know, but I'm really appreciating how much ease there is with me moving between timelines, and I think that that is purely the work of great writing. So I wanted to tell you that. I hope you can hear me over the dryer. Thanks for hanging out with me in my laundry. This is why I could never be a serious booktuber. Oh, these flies. Hi, it's many weeks later and I finally finished Kokomo by Victoria Hannan. I don't know why it took me so long to finish. It's certainly no reflection on the book, let me tell you. It's just been my life. This is great. This is another absolute success in the 2020 Australian new releases, that's for sure. So glad I read this. What I loved the most about this was the sense of place and feeling that I got from the characters. Victoria Hannan's writing was brilliant. The grief and the loss was so well done. Also, the unpredictability of where this story was going. So you kind of switch between the daughter, then the mother. So you get the daughter's perspective, then you go to the mother's perspective, and then back to the daughter's perspective. That shift between the two perspectives is seamless. It's great. And the answers that you get from the different perspectives is very cool. Completely from left field. Did not pick up on it at all. And it kept surprising me, which was really cool to be a part of. And it all kind of made sense. Wasn't too far-fetched. No coincidences. Thank God. I just think that it was a really well planned out book. Like, I felt like I was really being taken through. I felt like I was being taken through this story really methodically. That doesn't mean boring at all. It just means it was structured really well, and I really appreciated that. The themes of loss and grief and how people cope with that is amazing. The sort of repeating of parental habits is amazing and scary for me as a parent, but all the same, very cool to see in this story. True love, building of community and family, just a lot of great themes. I mean, there's Kokomo, right? And if you grew up in the 90s, it's very hard to say that word without singing the song. But they reference a couple of times that Kokomo is not some tropical island like the song, but like an industrial city or something in Virginia or something like that. And kind of that theme of, you know, sort of talking yourself into everything being okay and being rosy on the outside, but behind this feeling of mundaneness or dissatisfaction, that the reality is very different from the perception. Yeah, that was a really strong theme that ran through and cleverly poked in there. It's a really, really great read. If you're overseas, I hope you can get it. Let me know if you can, because it's certainly a success. It's a 4.5-star book for me. The writing's great, and in some moments there were passages of, wow, that's really cleverly done. But for me, I needed more flowery, emotive language for this to be a 5-star, for any book to be a 5-star. So it just wasn't written for me in that way, but certainly a huge success. I really enjoyed my time spent with this story and will remember it for sure. These characters have made a serious impression on me. So yeah, another huge success. Hooray! There's some great books. Well, the 2 that I've read so far have been fantastic. Anyway, like I said, if you're overseas and you can get this, like, absolutely do. If you are at home in Australia and can get this, absolutely do. If you've read it, let me know whether you loved it as much as I did. Yeah, it's been really fun talking my way through this book with you guys. Okay, on to the next 2020 new release. Not too sure what that is yet, but I'll see you when that crops up. Okay, bye.